Got to tell you guys, I never thought that I would see a day where I would be rooting for a university above Donald J. Trump and his administration. But I don't recognize his administration right now. I don't recognize what's happening. I have a theory. I do. We were kicking around some theories earlier, me and the team, and we were going, how could Trump be such a free speech enthusiast and allowing these things to happen, going after college universities, trying to suppress speech, while pretending that you're not suppressing speech, while pretending that you're fighting DEI. It's so messy. It's so obvious. Everyone knows what you're doing. People who are still trying to grift, I suppose, are not willing to challenge you on this, which is ridiculous, because when you are out of office, we are going to have to live with these consequences.
So people, I never thought that I would see the day that Candace Owens will turn against Donald Trump. Apparently, she regrets voting for him because of his attack on universities in America in regards to free speech, right? Obviously, we are seeing what's happening between Israel, the Israel supporters, Gaza, Palestinians and their supporters and everything. And we are seeing some of them getting deported from America, right? Now, a lot of people have concerns about it because people are saying, oh, these the pro-Israel lobby and groups and all that kind of stuff are pushing for laws to be passed. So if we are deporting legal, not illegal, if we are deporting legal immigrants that are here to study on green cards, right? Very soon, who knows what's going to happen to American citizens, right? So Candace Owens is one of the people that is so tired of it, right? And we are about to watch her go on her soliloquy onto why she is tired of Donald Trump.
Is when the real lawsuits started to pick up. So keep your eye on that, guys. I'm telling you, that is definitely something to watch. Okay, last thing that I want to cover. Got to tell you guys, I never thought that I would see a day where I would be rooting for a university above Donald J. Trump and his administration. But I don't recognize his administration right now. I don't recognize what's happening. I have a theory. I do. We were kicking around some theories earlier, me and the team, and we were going, how could Trump be such a free speech enthusiast and allowing these things to happen?
It's so crazy, right? Because that's a very good question. Because when the Democrats were in power, Biden and co, the people on the right, they were pushing for free speech. Oh, we are supposed to we are supposed to say whatever we want to say and not being canceled, right? Everybody was talking about, oh, the culture is so soft right now. Society is so soft, fight on free speech. They are banning us on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and everything, right? Now, fast forward, the Republicans are in power. Trump is in power. And now they are doing exactly the same thing for Israel.
After college universities, trying to suppress speech, while pretending that you're not suppressing speech, while pretending that you're fighting DEI. It's so messy. It's so obvious. Everyone knows what you're doing. Mm-hmm. People who are still trying to grift, I suppose, are not willing to challenge you on this, which is ridiculous, because when you are out of office, we are going to have to live with these consequences.
And it's so crazy because when you see some of the MAGA people, when they go on shows like Piers Morgan and he asks them to say a question, they start dancing about. Because they know what's right. But because some of these people are idol worshippers, some of these people literally worship Trump, right? Some of them look at politics like sports. My team against your team. They will never say anything negative about Trump, even though everybody can see the bullshit that's going on.
Our children are going to have to grow up in this America, okay? So when you threaten our speech, it's not worth it so that we can have pom-poms and go hurrah for a couple of years, then go, okay, well, yeah, now it kind of stinks because, we're getting arrested for wrongthink. We got David Friedman. Yeah, arrest him. Arrest Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens. Get them. I love it. Everyone can see what's happening left and right. So to give you the background, obviously after October 7th, there were tons of student protests all across the nation. Some got violent, some didn't. But what has happened is people started demanding that universities start, taking on their own sorts of definitions for anti-Semitism, particularly the IHRA new updated definition of anti-Semitism, which I believe was, I think it was drafted by the ADL, if I'm correct, if I remember correctly. The ADL put this together. Nothing good comes from the ADL.
Absolutely.
Their backstory is they were initially a gang that went mainstream, and their job is to suppress speech and to smear people, not to defend people against defamation. They are actually the defamers. That's why they think they're clever by calling themselves the Anti-Defamation League when they actually routinely engage in defamation. Anyways, this is Harvard received notice that they had to comply with the Trump administration's demands, okay, and essentially telling them how they would have to change things on campus. And they're, again, the administration is trying to paint this as they're coming and fighting DEI on campus, and they're not doing that. I'm going to show you it so you can see it with your own eyes. On Monday, Harvard became the first university to openly defy the Trump administration as it demanded sweeping changes to limit activism on campus. Activism is like synonymous with campus, okay? The university frames the government's demands as a threat not only to the Ivy League school, but to the autonomy that the Supreme Court has long granted American universities. They said in a quote, "The university will not surrender its independence or relinquish its constitutional rights." That's what the university lawyers said on Monday. They continued, "Neither Harvard nor any other private university can allow itself to be taken over by the federal government." The federal government says it's freezing more than $2.2 billion in grants and $60 million in contracts to Harvard unless, essentially, we are going to hold your funding unless you comply with these demands. And I'm going to show you, because Harvard has released it, what they're asking them to do. First, I should tell you they've already complied with adopting the IRHA definition of anti-Semitism, which is ridiculous. But so how you have to read this is everywhere, and Skylar, if you don't mind making that a little bigger for me, everywhere that you see the word anti-Semitism, you have to ask yourself what the definition, the new definition of anti-Semitism is, because now we're at critique of Israel, the foreign state, essentially. So as they frame it down there as the discontinuation of DEI, which would be a good thing, saying that we want people to be merit-based and to let go of DEI-based policies, that would be a great thing because that is how the nation should run. They are actually asking them to reform programs that have egregious records of anti-Semitism or other biases, telling them to look at specific programs. Scroll down, Skylar, because I want to get to them essentially just framing this as them needing to take a look at who they're even allowing to come to Harvard on foreign visas and whether or not they disagree with Israel's policies. Like you have to adopt new policies about student groups or clubs that forbid or endorse certain activities. They're talking about student groups that did not get violent, but are opposed to Israel's agenda, which is totally fair because this country is not Israel. It's not Israel. You are totally allowed to critique Israel. I mean, it's an absolute nonsense. It's telling them that these people need to be suspended, that they can't be allowed on campus. Again, making us think that Bibi Netanyahu must be the president of the United States, and Trump has no idea what's going on. And I tend to think that there is a person who tells Trump that the press is favorable, that they love this, that people are loving this. Trump's not on YouTube. He's not on X. He says something to someone and they tweet it. Somebody decides what articles to put in front of him every morning. Yep. I know that for a fact, okay? So he who is picking that article, he who is telling him what tweets to look at is the person that is shaping Trump's understanding of what his base feels.
Yep.
Now, Harvard, like I said, adopted this definition after pressure for anti-Semitism. So every time they mention anti-Semitism in those demands, which is plenty of times, they are referring to people that are critiquing Israel. Let's pull up that IHRA definition. It says the guide follows these examples, which may serve for several illustrations. Okay, the first one, you're like, calling for or justifying the killing or harming of Jews in the name of radical ideology.
Yep.
Yeah, we already have laws in the book for that. You can't just ask people to be murdered. You'd be in trouble. That makes sense. But then it gets really crazy because it says accusing the Jews as a people or Israel as a state.
Oh my
Sorry,
God.
that's inventing or exaggerating the Holocaust. By the way, that's not even a crazy. That's completely absurd. You should be allowed to, in a country that has free speech, if you say, I think the Holocaust numbers were exaggerated or I think they were underreported, that should be a matter of academic debate. That shouldn't be a matter of you being suspended from campus. Somebody could say, no, let me rebut that. This only exists for the Holocaust. If you go Google right now, Bolshevik Revolution, how many people died? They'll give you a range, 40 million to 60 million. How many Russians died in World War II? 80 million to 100 million.
And they also do the same thing, right, when it comes to what King Leopold II did in Congo. They debate that as well. They debate the numbers. They debate what he did. But nobody comes out and says, oh, that should be in the law. Why should it be done for one group? If you're going to do it for one group, you do it for everybody else. Why does this group get a special treatment all the fucking time?
In what world could you not say, I think it's less? I think less Russians died during World War II, actually. You're gonna arrest me? You're gonna arrest the kids? As opposed to just saying, let me tell you why you're wrong? Does that seem normal to you guys? This is completely crazy. Let's pull up some more things because it gets even crazier. It says, holding Jews collectively responsible for the actions of the state of Israel. Here's a clue. If you want people who are feeling threatened on campus because of the response that people are having to feeling like their rights are being infringed upon, maybe don't infringe upon their rights to speech. This is not making it easier for their students on campus, I'm telling you, because this is making it seem like they get special consideration because these rules were not put into place to defend white people when BLM was going on, okay? These rules had never been put in place to defend anybody else. So we're talking about speech censorship. But on its face, it is speech censorship. Speech that you don't like or speech that makes you uncomfortable is not violent. You're not being hurt by speech or being challenged by ideas, okay? We got to get over snowflake culture. Let's pull it back up because then it's like parts of the Bible.
And it's so crazy, right? You know what's crazy? That these same people, when BLM were doing whatever they were doing, right? They called black people that always screamed about racism, they called them soft, they called them manipulative, they called them that they are trying to shut down speech and everything, but they are literally doing the same exact thing. Some of the things that I don't know that if Candace wanted to read it, he said, accusing Jewish citizens of being more loyal to Israel or the alleged priorities of Jews worldwide than the interests of their own nations. Some of these people, like Ben Shapiro, has said that the reason why he loves America is because America is loyal to Israel. He literally said it with his own mouth. So what does that tell you? He's more loyal to Israel. Like, it's crazy.
The craziest one right there is accusing Jewish citizens of being more loyal to Israel or to the alleged priority of Jews worldwide than to the interests of their own nations. Lock him up. Lock him up. This guy thinks that this person's more loyal to Israel. I will guarantee you that there are commentators right now here in the United States who are more loyal to Israel than they are to the United States.
Shapiro.
Common sense, obviously. Lock me up, Trump. Take me away, DeSantis. Yeah, I think there are very clearly some people. David Friedman would be one of them that I would say is more loyal to Israel than he is to America.
That's a fact.
Oh gosh, the feds are coming. You're done. How dare you? It's the worst kind of anti-Semitism, listening to people's own words and deciding who they're more loyal to. Yeah, duh. Anybody can be more loyal to any country. People can be more loyal to Russia than they are to the United States.
Yep.
Maybe they're like, you know what? Russia has got an Orthodox Christian community. I like it. I prefer it. Maybe I'm more loyal to Vatican City. Could you imagine a law that's just like, you just cannot say that Catholics are more loyal to the Vatican City than they are to America. We're going to lock you up. Absurd. Absolutely absurd. And exhausting. It's like you're not a victim because somebody says that. Disprove the notion. Say I'm not. You don't get to cry like a baby and spike your ball and go home. It's just ridiculous. I mean, we know there are people that are more loyal to the state of. You want to know how we know? Because this is even being written down.
They say
because this is even being considered as a definition, a working definition of anti-Semitism. Whoever created this working definition is more loyal to the state of Israel than they are to America. Because in America, we believe in free speech. How about that? Anyways, so for them to make Harvard adopt this definition and then to write out what they expect under this definition is the suppression of speech. It's the suppression of speech. There's no other way to look at it. The Trump administration is fighting against free speech in America. And that is very sad for me to say and to report as someone who has been a supporter of Donald Trump.
Dang.
Like I said, I think it is because whoever is behind him whispering in his ear, he who prints out the papers and rubs his back and says, "You're doing great, everybody loves you," is the person who is running the White House. And it used to be Jared Kushner, and I don't know who that person is now, but I don't like it. It is we cannot allow our rights to be infringed upon. And if you think it's going to stop with college campuses, you're out of your mind.
It won't.
So you better buck up and root for Harvard University in this fight. You better hope that they defeat the Trump administration and this absurd definition. And they even include parts of the Bible. They're like, you can't say that the Jews had anything to do with Christ, killing Christ, which is, what that is? It's not anti-Semitism. It's anti-Catholic. It's anti-Christian to tell me that we can't discuss how Christ was murdered. We can't discuss who it was that was plotting against Christ. We can't discuss the Pharisees and the scribes anymore, guys. We can't discuss the teachers. Because according to the new working definition, which all the college campuses are going to have to abide on first before they try to mainstream this, lock me up. I'm saying it. You ain't going to get me. You are not going to get me ever to comply with not speaking about Christ and being worried about your feelings and disregarding the facts of what happened. So count me out, suckers. Count me out. Anyways, moving on from that, speaking of suckers, do not get suckered into the same old free phone game.
Listen, tough one. Trump had so much promise, right? He had some, he just had to do, I wouldn't say the bare minimum, but all he had to do was the things that he said he was going to do. You know what I mean? Uphold free speech. Not cater to one group or the other. America first. You know what I'm saying? That's basically all he had to do. But it just felt like he came in and everything just turned around. And it's so unfortunate to watch and everything because he had so much potential and everything was set for him to go down as one of the best presidents ever. But by the time he's done and we look back, I don't think that will be the case, especially if he plays around and then goes into war with Gaza, even though there's news today that came out that said he said that Netanyahu is not going to pressure him to go to war. We'll see how that goes anyways. But listen, let me know your thoughts. Subscribe to this channel. Put your comments in the comment section. Like these videos. Share with your friends. It's your boy, Toby. Until next time. Salute.